Neighbors deal with homeless encampments inside a Vancouver park. Right place, right time for a Vancouver Mall employee who helped stop an alleged abductor. And brothers biking for charity are interrupted by an accident in Oklahoma. Those stories and more on today's edition of the Week in Review from ClarkCountyToday.com. Hey everyone, happy Friday. We start in West Vancouver where neighbors are frustrated by growing homeless camps in an urban green space known by residents as Arnold Park.
Basically, nothing's getting done. What happens every year for 3 years, we have the influx of homeless, and then maybe towards the end of the year, they'll come in and do a cleanup, and then the whole process repeats. And the garbage is accumulating more and more, and you're getting the animals eating the garbage, and you're interrupting the food chain, the animal habitat, and also with the water quality, people wash their hands in this creek or try to bathe in it. What's going on here? Nobody's winning. The environment's losing, the homeless is losing, the taxpayers losing, the employees are losing. Their safety on their job out here is in jeopardy. It's a problem where we start with one problem of illegal camping, and now it's mushroomed into many more problems that the city needs to address.
Peter Baraki has been coming to Arnold Park since he moved to Minnehaha 3 years ago. He says the deeper into the woods he went, the more homeless camps he found, so he went to the city and complained.
Well, at first they told me, well, don't go off the trail. It's like, what? I'll stay on the trail.
Throughout the urban green space along Burnt Bridge Creek Trail, signs are everywhere of the numerous homeless individuals who've made it their home, at least temporarily. Baraki worries the camps are damaging the natural area and polluting the watershed, which ends up in Vancouver Lake. The city's new homeless resource manager, Jackie St. Louis, who comes from Seattle, where he left over frustration with the homeless response there, says he's formulating a plan to deal with places like Arnold Park, focused on more consistent contact and ways of encouraging people who want to live there to take care of the area on their own. The city and Clark County are also working to build a joint committee with the goal of addressing the homeless problem growing across the region.
Game on. Game on. I can't win in the environment. I'll take them down any way I can.
Be sure to check out all 3 parts of our story online at ClarkCountyToday.com and check out the video on our YouTube page. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to see when stories are posted and be part of the conversation. A Vancouver City Council candidate says he was the target of an alleged sign thief, but the man accused of the crime says he was just retaliating. David Regans says at least 24 of his signs up and down McGilvery were vandalized or stolen recently. Police tracked down 40-year-old Matthew Rebs and say Regan's campaign signs, along with those from at least half a dozen other candidates, were found in his garage. But Rebs says he believes Regan was taking down his signs for his painting business first, so he was acting out of retaliation. Regan denies that. Rebs faces counts of third-degree theft and malicious mischief, along with a charge of removing or defacing political advertising. Well, this week we shared the story of Ethan McClintock, a 19-year-old Vancouver resident who helped detain a 49-year-old man who allegedly attempted to abduct a 14-year-old girl in Vancouver Mall on Saturday. McClintock was helping a customer when he says he heard the victim screech and yell fire. The suspect, Stephen Hayes, who had a prior conviction for attempted kidnapping, ran from the store and McClintock raced after him. Hayes tripped, allowing McClintock and his manager to catch up. Along with one other man, they held Hayes until police arrived. Hayes was arraigned Monday and is being held in the Clark County Jail on $500,000 bail. McClintock, who's a student at WSU Vancouver, said he just did the right thing. The city of Camas is moving into the next stages of approving their $78 million community aquatic center. The bond levy on the ballot this November would fund the project and clear the way for the development of surrounding traffic infrastructure as well. Now, some residents are very opposed to the project and formed the Committee Against the Camas Pool Bond. Major complaints center around the construction costs as well as the estimated fees to become a member of the center. If passed, the bond would add over $400 a year or more for the average homeowner. The estimated yearly operating cost is also potentially higher than the center's projected revenue. Former 18th District Representative Liz Pike has been a strong opponent of the plan, stating it's not government's role to build recreation aquatic centers that unfairly compete with the private sector. Now, city leaders will hold their second community open house October 2nd to talk about this, so check in soon for the full story at clarkcountytoday.com. An unfortunate update to a story we brought you last month. Mark and Mike Roscom, remember them, the Vancouver brothers cycling across America to raise money for Open House Ministries? Well, they were involved in an accident last weekend. While riding through Oklahoma, a driver accidentally struck Mike while he and his brother were coming around a turn. Mike suffered lacerations, road rash, and a concussion. Mark was unharmed in the incident and went with his brother to the hospital, where he was released later the same day. Now, the brothers and their wives are resting, and the Breaking the Cycle of Homelessness Route 66 ride is on hold until further notice. Open House has asked for prayer while Mike and Mark recover. A Vancouver nonprofit, Artstra, and the Clark County Arts Commission started accepting poem submissions for Season 9 of Poetry Moves. This program, which began in 2016, gets local poets of all ages published on C-Tran buses across the county. 10 poems are chosen each season, and 2 poems are published on each bus. This past season featured student poems. The coming season will feature adults in Southwest Washington. The deadline for submissions is October 31st, and each poem must be fairly short and appropriate for all ages. And time now to check in with Paul Valencia for the ClarkCountyToday.com Sports Report.
Happy Friday, everybody. Hey, earlier this week we had our Monday sports highlights package from the previous weekend's Friday night football games. We had highlights on Washougal's victory over Woodland. We had a little bit of highlights from Evergreen football and even Seton Catholic football. Hope you got a chance to see that on Monday. Throughout the week we had notes on all the football teams from Clark County. And then Friday we just posted a story on Columbia River girls soccer. Now, girls soccer was awesome last year in Clark County. 4 teams made it to the Final Four. Columbia River also was a team that made it to the Final Four, but no one really expected them to. You know, the Chieftains finished second in the league, and then they made it a great run in the playoffs. Well, they're hoping to do it again this year. We also had a little video getting to know some of the leaders of the Columbia River soccer team. Hope you get a chance to take a look at that. Hey, tonight I'll be in La Center, Kalama at La Center football. I'll be there, and we'll have reports on that game tonight on ClarkCountyToday.com.
Well, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, be sure to check out our event calendar at ClarkCountyToday.com. Now, Saturday, you can take the kids to the Grass Valley Fire Station for an open house by the Camas Washougal Fire Department, including live demonstrations and a free lunch. You can also catch the Chelatchie Prairie Autumn Harvest Tour Train all weekend long. Head to bycx.org for details and ticket information. And that's your quick check of the top stories this week at ClarkCountyToday.com. You can send news, tips, story ideas, and feedback to news@ClarkCountyToday.com. And for all of us at Clark County Today, I'm Chris Brown. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.